breath of fresh air.
TrippTalk, you gotta see it even when it never's far-fetched. Gotta believe in yourself in the process until you progress. It ain't complex, take small steps, it's a long stretch. On the road to the riches won't be no getting winning. The survival of the fittest, so I'm going to get it. And we doing God's work, we ain't knowing no limits. And I'm doing this for y'all, so I'm hoping you get it. TrippTalk, you gotta see it even when it never's far-fetched. Gotta believe in yourself in the process until you progress,
Welcome back to TrippTalktech. We are here at Connection Academy in Baltimore with today's honored guest. Please help me welcome to the show, youth educator and founder of Veteran Students Steps Toward the Future sneaker cleaning fundraiser, Darius Timmons.
Yes.
And he will be joining us today with one of his partners in crime in this program, the shoe doctor. Darius Penn. I got lucky and pulled 2 Dariuses in one day.
Perfect. It worked out just how
it did. It worked out perfect, man. Hey, look, I thank both of y'all for just inviting me up to be a part of this event today. I got to see what you guys got going on in the back end. I really think it's something that you guys can go global with. Definitely in a lot of inner city communities, the connection you guys are making with sneakers and the kids and just education and empowerment. I think it's a dope program. I thank you again for being on the show. Thank you for inviting me out to see it in action. And just before we get started though, at TrippTalktech, right, we love to show love to all of the people in the community that are game changers. People that are disruptors. They're changing the fabric of what we normally know. And I see that in this program. The sneaker cleaning program, I think, just what you're doing, using your creativity, Darius, and using the sneaker culture.
Yes.
Using that culture and your guidance to educate, to empower, to give earning opportunities, and to unite these young men and women. Hopefully we get some girls to come along on the program.
Coming soon.
Yeah. But you're giving the young people of this community, again, a chance to have their own earning potential, see how to do it differently than what they probably see every day in their neighborhoods. And that's to be commended for both of you guys, for volunteering your time and giving back to your community like that, man. So salute to both of you. And we just appreciate everything you've done.
Truly appreciate it and grateful.
All right, man. So with that being said, let's get right to it. And Darius, I'm gonna loop you in. I didn't know you would be here, but I got a couple things I saw, and I'm gonna definitely get some questions over to you, the shoe doctor. But for you, Darius Timmons, growing up in Baltimore, eventually, you graduated out of Baltimore City Hospital, and then you graduated from HBCU. How did those experiences shape you and impact you where you wanted to come back into Baltimore and help out the youth in the community here?
That's a great question, and I'll answer that by just being completely transparent. I was raised in a household where I was being raised by all women. So with me being raised by all women, it wasn't until I got engaged into sports, thankful to a childhood, basically a mentor to me, such as now my godfather, Tripp, who honestly pulled me in under his wing and treated me as if I was his own son. And with that, he basically guided me and molded me and poured into me to the fact that I said once I started to progress through life, transitioning from going to my local high school, Emerson Westside High School, and once I graduated high school, I went in to study kinesiology at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and I just kept those. Some things in life I realized you just will always keep with me. And one thing I realized that I had somebody help me along the way, a positive male figure, so it's only right that I return that back to my community where I see it is truly needed in the Baltimore City environment. Because we always hear about the crime rate, we always hear about a lot of children growing up being raised in a single parent household, whether that's their mom or their dad, and they never really had the opportunities that they need, such as that might come from other areas that we are trying to present here through the Kicks for Class by Mr. Timmons, also here with the shoe doctor, where he'll be bringing the cleaning aspect of it. So it was just community give back, be able to give back, be able to once do what somebody had once done for me. I wanted to be able to give that and pay that forward in return. So that's really the gist of where my will and drive comes from with this. We've also been a second year educator. I just seen what is needed, and I said, which way could I bring this into the school system?
That's what's up. Now, Darius Penn,
Yes, sir.
you've came out and you're helping out with this effort. What put on your heart to come and help Darius out with this cause?
I want to touch back on what he said. Growing up, I had somebody, luckily, I had somebody there for me, you know, to guide me in the right direction. And then at the age I'm at now, I felt like, you know, it's about time we return the favor.
Back. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Kick for Class, this whole sneaker cleaning and fundraising initiative. How did you come up with this idea? Like, what made you put the two together?
Honestly, the school had started a club. I'm a teacher here at Connections Community-Based Art School off of Dukeland in Baltimore City. And what came to my mind was they said they were starting a club at the school program. And I was a part of this last year, but one thing that I realized I have a gift of doing is taking things and making things better. So I said, with me having a passion for sneakers, what way could I possibly bring this into the school system and make it fun? So what I did was I sat down one day and I said, well, what are some things that I like to do myself? Because me and a lot of these kids that I teach, we share common interests. I said, well, I know I have a passion for sneakers. I love sneakers. So one thing I can do is I always like my sneakers to be clean. And with that, at times I would take time out of my day when I'm out of work or whether it be the weekends to clean my sneakers. And then sometimes it eases my mind, you know, and it's nothing like having a fresh pair of sneakers on your feet, even if they aren't brand new, you can clean them up and get them back to that point. So I said, okay, I'll collaborate this in the school. Came up with Kicks for Class. It was just a simple name that came to me. I didn't put too much thought into it. It just came to me. And when it came from Kicks for Class, I said, okay, that'll be the topic. So what is something, the subtopic basically I can do for Kicks for Class? And I said, well, why not clean sneakers? So that's where it all started from, just me having a passion for sneakers, knowing that a lot of these kids want to walk around with fresh sneakers because at times, even though they might not be able to get brand new sneakers, they still can be taught how to clean their sneakers to make them look as if they are new, which will ultimately lift their spirits in a lot of ways.
Man, that's a great point that you made with just the mentality behind having a fresh pair of clean sneakers versus dirty sneakers.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
that can change the trajectory of a kid's day, just how they feel emotionally. That's pretty dope. Now, when I came in, the first thing I noticed, and we pulling for all of the people out there that's watching, the New Balances of the world, all you sneaker cleaning companies.
Yes.
I noticed that you're coming out your own down for this, and then the money that's being paid, obviously you're trying to empower these kids financially, and whatever they do, you're trying to get back to them, but you got to take out for supplies. You got to take out for what you're doing out of this big pot.
Right.
Well, small pot.
Yeah.
So do you have any sponsors? Are you looking for sponsors? What type of sponsors?
So at this current moment, everything has been paid for by me. This good brother here, Darius as well, the shoe doctor, you all can follow him on Instagram. He's been one of the guys that I felt as though I would reach out to because I just felt as though we had a genuine connection. I see that the work that this man put in when it comes to sneakers. So I said, for me having a passion for the youth, like I say, someone once gave to me, so it's on the record I give back. I said I'll front everything up front and get the shoe cleaning products and things so I can provide it for the students so that this can give them a start to go out and start their own sneaker cleaning process throughout this. So sponsors are always welcome. To me, what I always tell my students is everything is earned, nothing is given. So I just didn't want to make this a thing where as though they feel as though it's just taking donations. But I will say this, donations, monetary donations and sponsors will be accepted throughout this process because this is only the start and the beginning. So we look forward to growing. But at this current moment, the only sponsor that I have as of right now is the Shoe Doctor on Instagram, which is SHOEDOCTA, correct?
Yes.
Show that man some love, man. Support his product. He helping the kids. He's giving his time. And this guy told me he do so many tennis shoes in a month. I know he got to be missing out on 10 to 12 right now as he's talking to us. So definitely hit that button and follow him and figure him out. Give him some business. You just made mention of kind of how you see this. It's just getting started, right? And we talked and you said, hey, this is definitely something you want to take in all school systems nationwide because you know that is kind of a connector for all kids around the same age.
Absolutely.
But that's me talking.
Yes.
Your vision.
Yes.
Where do you see this program going in the future? And second part to that question, how do you see the impact on the community?
Okay. So with that, I see that for myself, with us being here in this moment today, I realize that this is truly something greater than myself. I'm sure that Darius will say the same thing. Because I see that it's needed in a lot of urban communities, whereas you need, within the school system, you need things to grasp these students' attention so that they can even get used or get comfortable with being in a classroom setting. We know that the pandemic took a toll on academics and all across the globe, whereas students were held outside of the classrooms and had virtual learning. So we're bringing them back inside of the school building. I'm pretty sure a lot of educators would agree that it was challenging coming back inside this in person in the school building within the first year. So with this, I say, with the after school program, basically this is a way, we all know that kids love sneakers, adults love sneakers as well. So what can I do to make it engaging for them to even want to spend more time in the school setting? That's one thing that drove me towards just wanting to have a passion, taking a passion of mine and putting it into something that's greater to myself, which is bringing the sneaker cleaning fundraiser into the classroom. And Kicks for Class is also a part of that. Where students will learn the reselling of sneakers, which people didn't even know exist. Now that folks are more aware of, you can take one pair of sneakers and buy it at a retail price, I say at $120. You look 3 months down the line, and that shoe might be almost close to $500, $600. So now a lot of parents are actually getting involved with their kids as well because they see it as an investment. So I say, why not bring this same, teach these in the city and urban communities that they can do the same thing, whereas they see it on Instagram, they see it on Facebook, but they don't necessarily know how to do it for themselves. So with me having the idea of it, the shoe doctor here, he having the idea of it, we say, why not collaborate and bring this to something where as though it can grow bigger.
Shoe doctor, same question. Again, when we sat back and talked, I saw your eyes get big and kind of the contributions that you can make to the play. What do you see, like what you saw today, and kind of what we talked in potential?
Yeah.
How do you see again how far this program can go, and then your impact as the shoe doctor on it?
Well, the best part is, remember I was talking to the students. I was saying, sneaker cleaning is one way we can connect with the youth or even the parents, but you don't necessarily have to. Stick with sneaker cleaning. You can learn a lot of things as far as just being a businessman or doing something positive in this program. Even if you don't stick with sneaker cleaning, you can learn a lot.
And just to piggyback on that, if you don't mind, bro, and piggyback on that, this is also teaching kids entrepreneurship at a young age. With the sneaker cleaning fundraiser, what we're doing is we're charging. So this school that we're at is actually a charter school. Connections is a charter school, which we have middle school and we also have high school, and of course we have staff. So I have broken it down to the price range of, for middle school students, it'll be $5. For high school students, it'll be $10, and for staff and other participants, it can go to the range of $15 to $20. So that's one thing that I'm teaching these kids is you can do this, which can be a hobby for you, but you can also earn funds from it. And that's where the shoe doctor that you see here on the camera with me comes in at, because he actually has a professional business that he runs himself, that he makes a lucrative amount of money on from what he does with a passion for sneakers by cleaning.
So let's switch things up a bit from a mental health perspective, because you kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yes.
Because you see a lot of the kids every day, you deal with them, you teach them. Yes. Obviously, the program has just started, but to your point, I'm sure you've run other programs in your first year in the past. For the kids that do or will participate in this fundraiser or other programs that you facilitate, do you see a difference in their behaviors? Do you see a difference in their self-worth for accountability, even from today?
Absolutely. With just to say this, right? Kids are kids, but they're still human. So that's one thing that we always have to keep in mind. And with me and the shoe doctor here, we want to possibly take this thing to other school districts as well. Because we see the impact that it has here. And kids see me in the building, they know that we had the after school program. They ask, and Mr. Timmons, we had the after school program today. We had the after school program today. Whereas at first they just were ready to, after school the bell rings, they're ready to go home. But now these kids actually have something to look forward to. So with them having something to look forward to, they know that they come here, they know that this is a safe place, and they also know that they're going to learn something, and they're going to be able to put their energy and efforts into something that will bring them money. because they might be young, but they still have things that they want to buy themselves as well. And kids love money, so I figured why not teach them this entrepreneurship early, but at the same time, you just see how they feel comfortable, because in different urban communities, we realize once these kids leave out of these school buildings, it could be pretty dangerous for them. And that's one thing we say inside of the school building, we know they safe. As long as they're in the school building, they know they're safe. And also the hobbies that they pick up. That's also a mental aspect that we want to teach these kids more healthier habits. And when you have healthier habits in life, that contributes to you having a healthier mindset. And sneaker cleaning, like I say, whatever they decide to clean sneakers. I remember when I was younger, I used to wash cars to make extra money. It just brought me a sense of peace within myself, knowing that I'm doing the right thing. I'm not doing nothing illegal to earn funds just to be able to treat and buy myself some of the things that I want to buy. So I truly do see the mental aspect, how it affects them, because it keeps them more engaged throughout the day, knowing they have something to look forward to once the school day is over. But it also allows them a sense of safety within themselves. You see it boosting some of their confidence, because like I said, even if a child doesn't have brand new sneakers, they can still clean them to the point that it keeps the sneakers clean, which contributes to bullying. Bullying is always a thing within the school system. So if a kid might not have the best shoes, might not be fortunate enough to always have the best shoes or the newest, latest Jordans that come out, or latest Yeezys, or whatever the shoemaker might be that comes out. So once we teach them this method of how to clean their shoes, hey, it doesn't have to be the best, but as long as it keeps it clean, it builds their confidence, and also goes to show that they care about their appearance, and how they present themselves to everyone else.
As an educator and leader of young people, have you observed social media having an effect on how kids evaluate their work?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Social media. Social media kind of makes me feel old, although I'm only 27. But these kids today take social media to a whole other aspect, and I say that because there is a thing such as cyberbullying. And with cyberbullying now, it's even heightened, because these kids have access to TikTok, Instagram, all of these things which they're not necessarily aware of how to use. And that's one thing that we have to keep in mind with teaching them how to manage social media. Social media is something that you can enjoy. It can be enjoyable, it can be inspiring, and it also can be educational, but it's all in the way that you use it. And I think the thing in a lot of these urban communities, and I'm sure a lot of other communities all over, is just monitoring what these kids see on social media will be a great aspect of that. And also realizing that, for instance, this man here on Instagram, he has 20,000 followers. Those 20,000 followers goes with his, I'll let him speak on, goes with his sneaker cleaning business that he has. Whereas you might have other Instagram pages that might not be as positive or inspirational in that manner, in that way, but we have to understand that those kids are still seeing these things no matter what it may be. So social media definitely has its pros and it has its cons like anything else in life, but from being an educator, I truly do see the impact that social media has on a lot of these kids, because sometimes they're not even thinking that reality is reality. Sometimes they get caught up in thinking that everything that they see on social media is real, when in all reality, it's everything that you see, sometimes that, like he mentioned, it could be a facade, and it could be people that's trying to put on an image that they necessarily don't live off the camera. And that's one thing that these kids can't tell the difference from. So I do my best every day to encourage them to live their life authentically, be comfortable with who they are, but also know where you are in life at the current moment. You don't have to stay there, because there's always room to grow, and you can achieve the things that you want to achieve in life by putting in the work.
Cool. That was my next question. You stole it from me. I was about to ask you, give me some encouragement or inspiration for anybody that falls in that category, but I think you did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, you stay true to who you are. That's don't compare yourself to nobody. Everybody's journey in life is different. One thing I always remind myself, we all go through things in life, but just because we all struggle with things doesn't mean we have to suffer from those things. So I will say that at times, just stay humble, keep an open mind, allow good people to come into your life and help you, because sometimes I realize with a lot of these kids, based on the things they experience outside the school building, they're a little more closed off. They're not always open to receiving help because they might have never had the help before. They have trust issues and things of that matter. So I just encourage anybody who's in that place in their life to just know that there is good people out here. There are folks who truly want to help you, and if you open up your mind and your heart to that, then you'll attract those people that's meant to be in your life in that positive way.
Do you feel like what you're doing for the youth in this program, and I'll ask this to both of y'all, and for the youth in this community, do you feel like it's tied to your life purpose?
100%. 100%. I feel as though it's tied to my life purpose, because with me being a believer in God, I would say this myself, that I'm serving a purpose greater than myself. And with me serving a purpose greater than myself, my ideas, the things like you asked me earlier, the things that I brainstorm on, how did I come up with this? It wasn't just for me. I didn't just sit down and write down 5, 10, 20 names and just pick one. It just naturally came to me. And I honestly prayed on it. And I always had a passion for wanting to help and better my community in any way that I possibly can. So with that, I feel as though that this is my purpose with being an educator and being able to take education in different directions that can also be impactful to the youth, because yes, it's only dealing with sneakers, but it's also teaching these kids entrepreneurship at a younger age, and also boosting their confidence with knowing that there is things that you can do at a young age to put money inside your pocket legally. So I truly feel as though this is tied to my purpose, and that's grateful to be in this position, honestly, to be able to give back in the ways that I am.
Darius, Penn.
Sir.
I know you said that you were giving back as well, and you feel like it's about time. Do you feel like maybe something like this is or can be tied to your purpose?
I definitely would. I feel like in the beginning when I started cleaning shoes, I just wanted to do it to make money. And as time passed, I started realizing that this could take me further than my mind could even think of. So when I come across opportunities like this, I never turn them down, because I know it's a reason behind it. One thing my mom always told me, it's a purpose, it's a reason for everything that happens, you know what I'm saying? Whether you believe it's God or fate, but that's definitely the truth. So once my friend Darius here presented the opportunity to me, it was no way I could turn that down, especially being able to have the opportunity to work with the youth, because realistically, they're up next. They up next. And I used to hear that in high school all the time. Y'all up next. You know, I didn't really realize what it meant until I turned about 23, 24, 20, now I'm 25 in 2 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm next right now. Then we got them coming up, so we got to make sure we can do everything we possibly can to build a better youth.
That's it. So, Mr. Timmons, what's next?
Yes. So next, the main thing for us is seeing which way, brainstorming more and praying on which ways that we can take this thing further. I'm looking forward to constantly building it with inside of my school building itself here. Getting some young ladies involved. Right now, I just have a group of young men, but getting some young ladies involved, and also getting other educators involved in other school systems and cities that may want to, bring something like this into their school system, because we're constantly looking for ways to keep these kids engaged. I'm constantly looking for ways to help these kids build healthy habits, and constantly looking for ways just to teach these kids other life skills other than what comes from the books, which is also important, but with keeping in mind that it's all about habits. So they have to build those habits on early so they can continue to follow them throughout life. So for us here, we're open to other opportunities, wherever that is, we come to your school, and have a meeting with you all, or show you the kids at your school, or even if it's not a school, if you have a mentoring program or something that you would like us to come to, we're definitely open to those opportunities, and we will do our best to follow up with that. So that's basically what comes next for us. We letting God lead us, honestly, and take us in the direction that He's already brought us in.
How did they get in contact with you, Darius? So
you can reach me at d.timmons_ on Instagram. I'll also give you my number, which is 443-800-0860. I can also be reached there. Always available to pick up the phone. Just don't call out after 10. I gotta get a little rest to make it in the next day to deal with the children. But always open on that line as well.
What about you, Darius? Penn, what's next? Tell the people what you got going on. I know you're a pro at this. And then how can they find your services and get in contact with you?
You can find me, that's on Instagram, _shoe doctor, SHOEDOCTOR. Actually, I do got some products coming out. So I'm 5 years in December 27th will make 5 years completely for my business. I'll say towards the end of December, beginning of January, I'll be dropping my first actual product. I've been doing servicing for the past 5 years, and I'm not gonna stop servicing, but we're just gonna jump into the field of that. And I'm also, I would want to present that to children, you know, in the future too, to let them know, again, anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? You might think you might want to do something and not even realize how far it can really take you. You know, so keep that in mind. Never limit yourself in what you're doing in life.
Dope. Now, both Dariuses.
Yes, sir.
Now, y'all know I can't let y'all go without asking y'all the question we ask all our guests.
Yeah.
And if y'all sneakerheads, so this should be a good one for the audience here.
Yes.
Favorite pair of kicks of all time. You only get one.
Favorite pair of kicks of all time.
Now, these dudes just cleaned about 10 pair that I would probably take.
One. Me personally, myself, this is a tough question. I would have to go with the Jordan 1, the Air Jordan 1, the OG Air Jordan 1, and specific one.
How about to say what colorway?
The bred toe ones. Those bred toe ones, man, for me.
I was going with them today too.
The bred toe ones for me, man. It's just a classic shoe. And the 85s, with me being an educator, sometimes I like to dress it up, dress it down. I feel as though when I put on a pair of Jordan 1s, I can put them on with a suit, or a pair of my slacks, or if I'm hanging out on the weekend, going to the movies or something, I can just throw on some jeans and slip them on, and they still fit in the outfit. So I would have to go with the Jordan 1 high 85s for sure.
Okay. All right. What we taking, Darius? Penn?
I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people can guess it. The Air Force One, all white, triple white, of course.
Air Force One, triple white. You're a Baltimore guy.
The triple white Air Force Ones go with literally everything. And the best part is when they brand new, they have no creases, zero creases.
You're right.
You can't beat them. Now once the treading at the bottom start not even getting creases up,
now
you
it
get
brown.
you a new pair. But a brand new pair of Air Force Ones, triple white,
Crisp.
can't lose, cannot lose.
All right, fellas. Darius, you want to grab your work behind the kids? Then did, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, both Dariuses. Look at that. Look at that.
The Jordan 5s, they clean up the day. Retro Jordan 5s, they clean up the day. I believe
Fire red 5.
They clean these up the day. As you can see, this has the original. This doesn't have
OG.
This doesn't have the Jordan.
That's your host.
Yeah.
We don't do the Jordan signs. We do OG around here.
The Jordan sign on the back. These are the OGs, which means they have that fresh Nike Air stamp on the back.
And see, I didn't let Darius and Darius know. I actually saw my grandson in Texas. I wore them all over a field. I got a picture I will put online of a before. I brought them here. They took care of them, guys. I'm telling you, it's real. I paid my service with the help of the group. Yeah, they didn't do it. They actually.
Shout out to my students, man. I wouldn't be able to do this without them, because although I presented it, I said it's selected spots, and the students that I have brought into this, I'll mention just a few. I have one student by the name of Jalen, Jeremiah, Terrell, and also my other guy Noah. I just see their passion for sneakers, and I also see their passion for just wanting to learn. And that's what helps me engage even more, because when you see students who actually wants to learn, it engages you more and encourages you more to want to teach it. Because you also have those students, I'm sure educators would agree, or any of the educators watching would agree, that and you have a student that you're pouring all your energy and efforts into, and it's kind of like they're not putting those, even showing you the willingness to want to learn, or showing you that they're willing, like I say, willing to learn and things that matter. It can kind of be discouraging, and I'm not saying you're going to give up on them, but at times you got to come with a little extra energy. So when you have those kids that already comes with some energy, willing to learn, asking questions, it kind of encourages you, like, okay, you engaged in this, then let's go. So I truly appreciate those students as well. So shout out to you all for staying after the after school program, even after you finished up with your schoolwork and homework, to come and contribute to this and let us get this done.
And shout out to you, Darius and Darius, man. I want to thank both of you guys for having me today. And more importantly, just thank you for what you're doing for the youth in Baltimore. These inner city kids, I mean, I was one of them. You coming up, Darius, and Darius, I know you guys were one of them. and to see you giving back to that same circle, just that's beautiful, man. And just keep up the great work, man, because again, like you said, they up next, and we want to set them up for the best possible future, like people set you guys up with. And man, it's just a beautiful thing to see that just kind of reciprocated, man. So
just give a quick shout out. It's only right that I give a shout out to the principal and assistant principal we have here at Connections, a community-based art school. I like to give a shout out to the principal, Brooks. Sidney Brooks, man, he's an awesome man. He's taught me a lot since I've been under his wing within this last year. And he allowed me to bring this into the school system, because it could have been accepted or declined as a part of the after-school program curriculum that we have here. But he said it's a dope idea. I'm gonna let you take the ball and run with it. So I appreciate Principal Brooks for that. I also want to shout out the assistant principal, Miss McLeod. She's a great, wonderful person. She always encourages, the staff that we have here. So just for them allowing me to be able to do this, it means a lot to me, because it could have been turned down and that could have been discouraging not only for myself but the students. So for them allowing us to do this, it truly means a lot. I also like to give a shout out to TrippTalktech for bringing us in today, me and Darius in today, because there isn't many folks out here that focus on just folks who are, I would say, authentic. It's not like, I'm being completely honest, this thing is just starting, we just getting it off the ground, but we see this going very, very, very far, not only with the work and efforts that we put in, but the help of you all and the viewers. We see this going very far, and also with the students, because as we know, it's needed. It's needed for them to be able to have something to engage in, not because they have to, but they necessarily want to. So shout out to TrippTalktech for catching those moments, and finding and seeking out those people who are doing great things, not only for themselves but for the community, and trying to empower and impact the community in a positive way inside of the school system.
Man, I appreciate that. And with that, you guys know the motto, pay it forward. A little love goes a long way, and y'all are living proof of it, man. I appreciate you, brothers. It's TrippTalktech, y'all.
Peace.
TrippTalktech, you gotta see it even when it never's far-fetched. Gotta believe in yourself in the process until you progress, till you progress.